Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Colts Talker. We are back with a new video. But before I get into it, I would like to thank each and every one of the subscribers. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button as well if you enjoy the content. I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's hop into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show the Colts put on yesterday, man. On Sunday, the Colts played the Las Vegas Raiders for a playoff spot, and they did not disappoint. The Colts blew out the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, at the beginning of this game, everyone thought it was going to be a shootout, a dogfight, and some of them thought it was going to come down to a game-winning field goal. But little do we know, the Colts, as we know, is a second-half team. They wind up turning the engine all the way to max and wind up blowing out the Las Vegas Raiders. The Colts almost put up 50 points. 50 points. The last time we did something like this was 2014 against the Washington football team. This game was incredible. Everyone played lights out. Shout out to Philip Rivers for playing a quarterback position, and he's improving week by week. Week by week, Philip Rivers has been improving. So shout out to Philip Rivers. Jonathan Taylor, who was one of the key players this game, went insane. He went insane. This was a breakout game for Jonathan Taylor. Oh, he had 150 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. 2. Then Nyheim Hines was doing his thing. Jordan Wilkins was there. He was iffy. But the whole rushing game had over 200 rushing yards, which is incredible. It is incredible. The run game was phenomenal. From the beginning of the game, you knew Jonathan Taylor was going to produce. Now, of course, Coach Frank was pulling him out the game every now and then. And some Colts fans are wondering, why does Jonathan Taylor keep getting pulled out? I mean, to be honest, he is a rookie, so he's not going to be playing the whole game. So he's going to get pulled out eventually. Plus, we have 3 capable running backs of doing just that. Even though we know Jonathan Taylor is probably the best out of all of them, and Nyheim's the fastest, and Jordan Wilkins might be the strongest, but we all know Jonathan Taylor is the best out of all of them. But he is still a rookie. So I feel like he's still going to be on minute restrictions. And to be honest, I think it worked out because it still panned out that Jonathan Taylor still almost had 200 rushing yards by himself. And he's still well-conditioned, still toting the football and doing what he has to do. And he scored twice. So it's pretty impressive still at the end of the day. And shout out to T.Y. Hilton. 2 touchdowns, T.Y. Hilton. He played insane. I feel like T.Y. Hilton hit a second gear after that Texas game. He's just playing insane. He mossed the defender in the end zone, and he did his little touchdown celebration. He scored twice. It could have been 3 touchdowns if we're being honest, if the flag was called, but they didn't call a flag. It could have had 3 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton and the Philip Rivers connection is looking like what we've seen before the season started. In practice, training camp facility, you've seen the connection was working out, and I feel like they finally found the chemistry, and I feel like there's going to be more touchdowns for T.Y. Hilton, especially who we play next week is the Houston Texans. So I feel like T.Y. is going to score again next week. So this is just an awesome moment for T.Y. Hilton, for a guy who looked like he was going to probably retire maybe at the end of this, at the beginning of the year, but by the way he played, dropping passes, couldn't really get the strings around on his routes, and now all of a sudden, I still had faith in him. Some Colts fans didn't. I still had faith in T.Y. Hilton, and I made a video about it. But T.Y. Hilton turned the gear up and started to produce numbers. Now I'm saying that Philip Rivers he's starting to give him the football, which is he's just becoming comfortable in the pocket and starting to gain the chemistry as a quarterback for the Colts. All the targets are starting to gain receptions. Everyone's starting to get in the end zone. Everyone's becoming productive, and the offense is looking like a real offense now. It just took time. Coach Frank has 1,000 plays in his playbook. He won a Super Bowl with it. So when we seen the Wildcat formation with Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor, we knew this was going to happen eventually. We just had to wait for it. This coach is a mastermind. He beat the New England Patriots. He knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl on offense. He knows what it takes. It's just that I feel like he's holding back. I feel like he was holding back the whole year. He is so creative, and I feel like that's the reason we brought him in as a coach. He's so creative on offense, and he's a mastermind. So I feel like now that we're almost playoff time, we're turning the gear. We're 9-4 now. we're now 9-4. It started to look dull at the beginning of the season, especially after week 1 losing to the Jaguars. We were like, we don't know what Colts team we're going to get at the end of the year. Most people were hanging it up by week 6. Most people were hanging it up. Some people said we weren't going to make the playoffs. I can load up the comments right now, but I'd rather not. Some people were predicting we won't make the playoffs. But now that we turn gears and starting to catch pace and the roster was starting to become more healthy, we're looking like a playoff team right now. Shout out to the defense. The defense turned up again in the second half. The defense is playing lights out. You got Defoe up there. You got Kenny Moore with one hand, Odell-like interceptions. Odell-like one-hand grab in the back of the end zone. Now, before that play happened, you seen Darren Waller literally maul Kenny Moore down the field, and he almost scored. He was literally dragging him towards the end zone. And Colts Nation the Colts football fans, Colts fans were at the verge of wondering, why the heck is Kenny Moore on a 6'6" Darren Waller? We all were wondering, why is he on him? But little do you know, Kenny Moore got his revenge in the back of the end zone. He baited Derek Carr into throwing a beautiful dot up to Darren Waller. And Darren Waller didn't even know Kenny Moore was going to leap up in front of him and grab the football with one hand. One hand, that has to go down as the best interception of the year. Now, Xavier Howard caught one he caught one this week over Tyreek Hill against the Chiefs, but they lost that game. But the Colts did one just as good with Kenny Moore. I feel like Kenny Moore had the best interception of the year. The best interception of the year. And shout out to Khari Willis. Khari Willis got him a pick six. A pick six today. Now, there's a bunch of Khari Willis fans on this channel, and I know they were excited to see him catch a pick six because he is so underrated. This defense is very underrated. We don't get the respect we deserve. Now, I know our defense might look suspect at times due to the 4-3 zone, and some quarterbacks just decides to throw down the middle of the field or on the sideline because the receivers are always going to be open. Because we just find a way to put a linebacker on a wide receiver, in which we have no reason of doing, and we just don't switch to the right defensive formation. But due to our scheme, our second half defense turns up to what it should look like at the beginning of the game, but we turn up in the second half and you just play lights out. We just play lights out. So shout out to the defense. Shout out to Hot Rod for making all of his field goals, the coaching staff, the offensive line. Now look, Darius Leonard and Xavier Rhodes went down in that game, but reports came back today to say that it wasn't as bad as it looked. So they're going to be returning soon, which is good news. That's good news to hear. Darius Leonard had a back injury and Xavier Rhodes tweaked his knee, but it seems to be fine, so that both is not a major injury. So they're going to be coming back soon, which is good news. So shout out to them. Prayers to them for full recovery. And shout out to AC Anthony Costanzo playing this game on a tweaked knee. He thought it was bad, but the reports came back and they say he can play, and he did not disappoint. Now, a few plays, they had Quentin Nelson at left tackle, and he did a great job there. Now, I said this before on the LaRaven Clark video. Quentin Nelson could play any position on the offensive line. Now, this can go to a full theory. If we have to draft another offensive lineman, and we might have to move Quentin Nelson to left tackle, because it could work. We can draft another left guard. We can move Quentin Nelson to left tackle if we have to. That game was a pure example of the greatness of our coaching staff. They have this scouting thing when they move offensive linemen around and test their abilities at different positions, and Quentin Nelson didn't disappoint. So shout out to Quentin Nelson and that whole offensive line for holding up and not forcing any turnovers on Phillip Rivers or the run game. We did a great job against a Las Vegas Raiders team that beat the Kansas City Chiefs once this year, and they actually have shown potential of being a playoff team. But we just was the better team on Sunday, but that doesn't discredit the Raiders at all. So shout out to the Raiders. It was a good game until unfortunate events happened at the end when we just wind up taking off, but that's just Colts football for you. But the Raiders did play a good game at the beginning. I will give them credit. I mean, they could have easily aired us out with Henry Ruggs, or Derek Carr could have did his thing, but it just felt like the team didn't come ready to play. It looked like the team didn't come to play on Sunday for the Raiders, which is unfortunate. But shout out to the Colts. We move up. And this is a little bit, it's still a tight situation because we have to win a game for the rest of the year. We have to win one. We still have a tough schedule ahead of us. We still got the Steelers on the schedule. We still got to play the Texans again. So we have to win one of these games to end the year. And hopefully this team can stay playoff ready. Hopefully they can stay playoff ready because they look ready. They look like they're ready to go. And that's the type of energy we need as Colts fans. I've never been this pumped this year off of victory. The only time I can think of is when we beat the Packers. When we beat the Packers was the only other time I was as hype as I am today after beating the Raiders. But what a game. You guys let me know in the comment section who was your MVP of the game and why, and how do you think the rest of the season will go for us. But until next time, I will be streaming tomorrow on a live stream, maybe a Q&A. So you guys go ahead and tune in tomorrow on this channel. Turn on your notice. Also subscribe if you're new and hit the like button. But until next time, this is Colts Talk signing out. Peace.